Alright, let's get this thing popping. Let's do it. Disney Pixar tier list. Okay, so first thing I want to start off with, I have a never seen tier. These are movies that I haven't seen. I think there might be a couple more that I might have to add in to this tier, but these were just movies that I saw off the jump that I've not seen. And so I know there's a couple I'm going to get yelled at. Actually, let me go. I know there's one in here that I haven't seen I'm going to get yelled at for. It is Frozen. I've never seen Frozen. I actually just for the first time heard Let It Go all the way through. And I don't know the name of the actress, but she went nuts. I'm actually probably going to watch this very soon. I'm very excited for it. Alright, first movie, Lady and the Tramp. What order is this in? This can't be alphabetical. Alright, so Lady and the Tramp is... I'm going to drop this in B tier. Is it C tier? Maybe it's C tier. Put it in B for now. But A is crazy. Alright, we'll put it in B for now. I think Lady and the Tramp is fine. It's good. I like the messaging. I also think that like their relationship was just really well done throughout the movie, so I thought they were great. Next is Encanto. A, easily. Ooh, it's S? I love this movie. I love this movie. Oh, this is tough. Okay, we'll put it A for now. We'll put it A for now. I love this movie. Everything's great. The plot is amazing. The music is incredible. All of the songs that I really, really like. And I like that the music... One of the things I think Disney does really well is their music pushes along the plot. Like, it reveals details about the plot rather than them just like singing randomly for no reason. I think they do an incredible job of that, and oh my god, the music in this movie is some of my favorite that they've ever done. So yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it at A for now, but my initial feeling is it might be too low. I love Encanto. 101 Dalmatians, A. I love 101 Dalmatians. Okay, so I will say one thing is I like the older animation better than the like updated one where it obviously looks better. I really like, I don't know, there's like one of the big things I think is there's a lot of like broken lines in the movie, and what I mean by that is that, like, you can tell kind of the way that it was drawn, it wasn't always like super precise, and I think it really added something to the movie for me. And yeah, I don't know, when I was a kid I had a lot of really good memories watching this one. I used to have it on VCR tape, which I know this movie is crazy. But I really like this movie. I like 101 Dalmatians. And I think the messaging, this is something that like I'm also looking at when I'm looking at these movies. The messaging I don't think is problematic. Like, it holds up, I think, pretty well. So I like that movie. Winnie the Pooh. It's fine. I know, Winnie the Pooh's like a classic. I think the movies are great. I couldn't even really tell you what this movie was about, which is, you know, I think says a lot about it. I don't know. Winnie the Pooh was never for me. So it's, as the kids would say, it's mid. The Emperor's New Groove. Oh, this movie's good. Oh, this movie's real good. Is it A or S? Okay, so let's think about it this way. Is The Emperor's New Groove better than Encanto? I don't... Oh, it might be. The Emperor's New Groove might be Disney's funniest movie. It might be their funniest movie. Oh, this is tough. I think I'm going S. Yeah. Emperor's New Groove, man, it is so good. It's probably their funniest movie. Off the top of my head, it's their funniest movie. The story is great. Like, I think the way that they do everything is really, really cool. Kronk is freaking hilarious. And what's funny to me about Kronk is I don't like the like stupid character trope. I don't like that at all. I almost never find it like very funny, but they do Kronk really, really well. So yeah, this movie's great. Home on the Range is fine. Is it lower than this? I think I've only ever seen this movie once. The more I'm looking at it, um, yeah, this feels fine. Cinderella is also going in my C. Okay, so here's why. I actually really like Cinderella. I think normally I'd put it in B, but I would be remiss if I didn't say I don't love the movie, mostly because like the story of Cinderella is really simple, you know, like all it is she's, you know, treated like crap. She goes to the ball. You know, fairy godmother helps her go to the ball. She loses her shoe. Guy finds her later. The movie like just drags it out. Obviously, it does because it's a movie, right? It's gotta lengthen the time, but yeah, I think that it drags it out, and it like doesn't really drag it out in a way that I thought was super compelling. So it's fine. Oh, I also will say I love the animation for Cinderella. I really, really like it. It's got, I don't know, it's got this like, there's like a simplicity to it that I really like. I'm not really sure how to describe it. Alice in Wonderland, I know should be higher. I acknowledge that I am maybe trolling by having it this low, but it's not for me. It's not for me. So, okay, full disclosure, I've only seen it, I think, one time. And yes, I know the story and everything, like the real story. Well, you know what I mean. But yeah, I don't know. I was confused when I saw it. Didn't have a good taste in my mouth. The Sword in the Stone. Where are we putting this one? This is another one that I'm pretty sure I've only ever seen once. This feels good. I remember not liking the animation for the movie, and yes, I know this movie's super old. I know, but you know, I really like some of its contemporaries, like Cinderella. I really love the animation for. I also really love the animation for. Is it on here? Yeah, Snow White. I love the animation for those two movies, but for some reason this one didn't really stick with me. It's kind of animated in that same kind of broken way that 101 Dalmatians is, but I think it works better for them. This movie didn't have, like, The Sword in the Stone should have had this like really cool magical feel to it, and I don't know, I never really got that from it. Dumbo, I think, is a worse Hunchback of Notre Dame. Yeah, I don't think it's very good. Sleeping Beauty is going in C. Yeah, I think Sleeping Beauty is not. Oh, does anyone B actually? No, I don't think I can do that. So what I'm thinking here is Sleeping Beauty has two things that's really cool. I think the animation is stellar. I love the animation, and I also think Maleficent is awesome. The story, not that good though. Yeah, the story's not very compelling, so we'll go see. Brother Bear. Oh my god, this is D for me. Oh, is it F? Oh man, dude, when I was young, I did not like this movie at all. I've seen it a couple times because my younger brother really liked it. I did not like it at all. I've never liked this movie. Yeah, the whole nature. Yeah, I don't know. It didn't hit for me. Soul is in D. This movie's not good, and okay. So, should this movie be in D? Maybe not. I think it actually probably deserves to be in C because it's mid. But I'm putting it in D because I don't know what's going on with the people at Disney. I would love to sit down and have a talk with them because they are nailing these other ethnic movies, but they have not nailed black people as their primary characters yet. And Turning Red, I think, is super, super good with their Asian culture, and obviously Encanto is super good. They're hitting the Hispanic culture super well. They have not hit black culture, and it's not been. I don't think they've done a great job, which is weird because that one. Maybe it's a little messed up. Maybe it's a little problematic to say, but the scene in The Incredibles, Honey, Where's My Super Suit? I think encapsulates. That felt like it was for black people, and they did that super well. So yeah, I don't know how that was so good, but they've not really nailed it any other way, in my opinion. Moana is an A. Yeah, Moana's an A for sure. The music's great, the movie's great. The Rock sings that one song. The plot is obviously really good. Holds up, and I do have to acknowledge that my criteria of like problematic messaging does tend to favor modern movies, but also like it's important to acknowledge we're doing this tier list in 2023. You know what I'm saying? And so when I'm doing something like this, I have to think about, you know, when I'm showing this movie to my child, what message do I want them to take from it, and what conversations would I need to have with them watching it. So yeah, I think that's kind of what I'm thinking there. But yeah, Moana's really good. Aladdin is goated. Nothing else needs to be said. Aladdin's goated. Lion King is maybe Disney's best movie. We don't even need to talk about these two. Wait, is this the live action one? No. Okay. This doesn't have live action. So. Okay, good. I don't like the live action remakes. They're like fine, but these two movies I think are perfect as perfect gets, in terms of Disney. In fact, there maybe should be a tier above for just these two movies, and maybe another one. But yeah, everything is done well. The stories are incredible. The characters are incredible. Everybody has very compelling, you know, desires in the movie. The music is awesome. It's everything about these movies are great. And what I love about them is that this applies to a couple other movies on the list as well, but it feels like their stories are so timeless. Like the idea of letting go of your past and not letting your past like define you, I think will resonate forever, you know? So this movie is super good. Pocahontas, D. Now, does Pocahontas maybe deserve to be a D? Like as a bear film? No. But it's got a terrible retelling of what is actual history. You don't want your kids learning this from this movie, that this is the history, because these are real people. This is a real person. Pocahontas is. You know, John Smith is a real person. And IRL, that story did not go that way. So yeah, that's terrible. That's terrible. Getting punished for that for sure. Okay. Finding Nemo. Okay, guys, that's about to get a little controversial. Okay. Finding Nemo is going in B. Which I know, if I really wanted to be spicy, I put it in C, but I'm not gonna be disrespectful. We're gonna put it in B. That's where it belongs. I think Finding Nemo, in my opinion, is just a little bit overrated. Just a little bit overrated. I think most people would have it in one of these two tiers. I think it's just a little bit overrated. It's not as good as any of these movies. It's just flatly not. Part of what I think makes it so, like the animation at the time, I think was completely almost revolutionary. Like it really changed the game up in terms of animation. And so yeah, I think it's really good, but I can't reasonably put it on the same level narratively that I would any of the movies above it. Alright, so let's talk about it. Wreck-It Ralph. Okay, so you see, I have never seen the first Wreck-It Ralph. I have seen the second one, and it's not very good. It's not very good. Is it C? No. I'm leaving it in B. Okay, so here's why. So the movie Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet, it had so much, like, oh my god, it came out pretty recently too. Like it had so much potential for using like internet culture and what internet culture is, and oh my god, it could have been so freaking sweet, but it just wasn't. And it could have, at the very least, it could have been hilarious, and it wasn't. The funniest part was probably the princess part, and they gave that away in the preview. So yeah, I think it had a lot of potential. Little Mermaid is B. Yeah, Little Mermaid's B. I like the Little Mermaid. The music is excellent. It's one of my favorite soundtracks. Under the Sea is on my like "Don't Be Depressed" playlist. I don't know how you could ever frown listening to that song. It's so good. The plot is amazing. It's really really good. I don't feel like it's as good as obviously these, where I think they resonate for me. I think a little bit more emotionally, but yeah, I like The Little Mermaid. Tarzan, absolute banger. Oh my god, Tarzan is so good. Look within your heart, you know it to be true. Tarzan is so good. The soundtrack is like, oh, Friends Like Me, boy. The Tarzan is so good. It's so good. Accurate, pretty well, as accurate as it can be. I think they did a really good job with the Jane. Like she didn't really feel like super helpless, but obviously she needed his help. Yeah, I loved this movie. Bugs Life. Okay, so I've done this with my students, and these kids nowadays, they just don't know how good a Bugs Life is. It is so good. Okay, so Bugs Life had. This was back when Pixar was doing the bloopers. You guys remember the bloopers? What? Oh my god. The movie itself emotionally resonates, I think, so well. It's super up here because I think the story is so good. Flick having to kind of find his way in a world where he feels like he's super different from everyone else. And I don't love that it ends up being like he was the right one all along, and they kind of acquiesce to who he is. But I think it would have been cooler if like they just recognized that Flick and his thought process was legitimate, and his love of technology was legitimate, instead of like I believe at the end of the movie they just completely adopt his technology rather than it being like a mix of old and new. That would have been cool, but also this movie came out in the 90s, so that wasn't gonna happen. This movie's incredible. Same thing with Monsters Inc. Movie's incredible. Movie's really really good. Again, this Monsters Inc. might have the funniest. Again, this was back when they were doing the bloopers. Monsters Inc. might have the funniest set of bloopers where they're doing the slow walk and then they fall and they all collapse on each other. Oh my god! And then the pig Latin. Stop it. All of that was great. This movie was surprisingly emotional too. When he leaves Boo at towards the end, like it's really sad. And then they break down the door. It's the way that this movie ends is weird because it's not quite a tragic ending, but like low key it's a tragic ending. It was really really good. Zootopia. I have not seen this movie. Zootopia is. Let's talk about it. I hate this movie. I hated this movie. I hate this movie because, okay, so we've already acknowledged that part of my criteria is like the messaging and what the movie means. And this movie very much felt like a group of white people got into a room and wanted to talk about race. That's really how it came across to me. I think that the messaging that it promotes was really really strange, because so in the movie the predators, it kind of like it establishes that predators are like minorities. I believe at one point it literally calls the predators minorities. And side note really quickly, this is another one that kind of beats you over the head with the metaphor, but it paints the predators as the minorities. I'm almost positive it verbatim says that they are minorities. But what's weird is that some stereotypes of real minorities are attributed to the prey. So when you're watching this as someone who's like moderately educated, you're like, wait, so predators are the minorities, but you can't touch a bunny's hair? That's something that goes with black women who are minorities, but the predators are the minorities, not the bunnies. It gets like, it's very very messy in the way that it tries to communicate its point. And sure, yeah, you can make an argument that the core point is great, like there's unity, but we should have unity, but I think it's not very good. And I also think that I might be reaching a little bit here, but I also kind of got the impression that the movie is not trying to promote, but imply that there is a possibility that we could eventually live in a post-racial society, and I don't believe that to be the case. And I think it's actually kind of dangerous for us to try to live in a post-racial society. I don't think that that's possible, and I don't think that that is what we should be progressing towards. Toy Story 4 is good. It doesn't hit, I think, the same way that the other Toy Story movies hit, but it's not bad. It's not bad. Something that I thought that was cool with what they did with this one is the cast was really crazy. The voice acting I thought in this movie was really good, and the animation's great. Bambi I think is also fine. It's got one of the more sad moments, obviously, with the mom passing away. But yeah, other than that, it's okay. Snow White is another one. I love the animation. I want to put it in B, but it's very similar to is this where I put? Yeah, it's very similar to Cinderella, where I kind of feel like they drug out the plot, even though it's really simple. Which again, I understand why they did that, but it drags, I think, for me, story wise. So plus the whole like seven dwarf thing is like a little weird. Yeah, I didn't like that. The Incredibles is S. How is it not? It's so good. It's so good. It is so good. I think the story and the theme, about finding your way in society, but also kind of finding your way within your own family is like, it's so good how they do all of it and how they manage all of it. I can't sing the praises of this movie enough. Treasure Planet I saw, I think, once as a kid. It was a little disappointing. I thought this movie was gonna be something different than what it was. Cars 1, okay. Oh, this doesn't feel good. Oh, this does not feel good. It does not feel good to have Cars 1 above some of the movies on this list, but it being up. Oh my god, Cars 1 and Finding Nemo on the same tier. This is gonna get, oh my god, my comment section's gonna be crazy. But I like Cars 1. I like Cars 1 a lot. I think that the theme of this movie is really, really good. He kind of has to go back to, humble beginnings and look to the past to kind of bring himself success. He's really arrogant. I actually think this is a message, admittedly, as a teacher. I think this is something that's really important for kids to learn, especially now, because I think one of the most common things that I've faced is kids who feel like there's so many different avenues to being successful, and for a long time, we as educators have been telling kids, college isn't the only way, education isn't the only way to be successful, and there's so many ways. You can obviously become a YouTuber, you can get famous on TikTok, you can do so many different things now that I think there's like almost an arrogance that builds up in kids nowadays. Jesus Christ, I'm 29, sounding like a boomer. But yeah, I think there's almost an arrogance that I think this movie kind of speaks to, that, yeah, you can be ultra successful. You probably will be ultra successful if you put the work in. But at the same time, there's humble beginnings, and there's a lot to learn from those as well. Raya, is Raya B or A? I'm gonna put it in B. I don't think it's as good as these movies, but I really liked Raya. I really liked Raya. I actually didn't have a lot of complaints from it. I loved the message. I really liked that at the end, Raya technically wasn't the one who put the thing back together. It was the rival character whose name I am not remembering off the top of my head. I really thought that was cool. I liked the story. One thing I would say that I didn't love was how the movie, to me, kind of felt like split in half. It was like when they were searching for it, and then the back half where they were trying to resolve the situation with the darkness. It really felt like a dichotomy almost between those two halves, but The whole movie was good. It was very, very funny. Um, and I really like the theme. I really like the theme a lot. Ratatouille, I think is great. I love the animation. I love the art. I don't know. This movie's like weirdly artistic, kind of. It to me has a different feel than most of these. But I like the idea that like help can come from like unique places. And yeah, they really went absurd with it. But I liked that. And I think it fit really well for Disney. This is some of where their peak stuff is where they really go for it, and I think that worked really well for that movie. Cars 2, trash. Brave, trash. Brave was awful. Oh, Brave was so bad. I think okay. So part of why I think Brave is not good is because, admittedly, it kind of felt like it was the way they marketed it, right? Like it was marketed as like, oh, we're gonna have this like strong Disney princess who doesn't need a man, and she's not like, okay, we're talking about 15-year-olds here, but she's not conventionally attractive. Like that's like how it was supposed to be, this like cool feminist thing, and then it just wasn't. I don't know. It was just kind of lame to me. I didn't like Brave very much. I thought it was actually bad. And then the whole thing with her mom turning into it was dumb. Monsters University, I don't think I've seen it. Yeah, I don't think I've seen it. Can't think of it. Inside Out is fine. Inside Out is another one that I think is really, really overrated. It's carried a lot by its theme and what it does, like what it's about, obviously. To be fair, I think its message is really great. I think it's one of the better messages. But the movie itself is not great. The whole like how you deal with your emotions and how like your different emotions kind of I guess interact with each other, I think is really, really cool. Because yeah, I don't need to explain. Peter Pan, I don't really like Peter Pan. It's not the whole youth thing. Not for me. Cars 3 is better than Cars 2 for sure. Is it C? Is Cars 3 C? No, it's gotta be D, right? Yeah, it's gotta be D. There's no way Cars 3 is on Toy Story 4 tier. No way. But I like the story. Okay. The execution of it, I think, is not incredible, but I like the story of Cars 3 a lot. I like the story of Cars 3 a lot. He's gotten to a point where he's really successful, and then he has the crash. I think that's really cool. Finding Dory, I thought was okay. It's weird because Finding Dory. Wait. Okay. Yeah. Finding Dory, it's hard because it comes after Finding Nemo, obviously. And Finding Nemo, I think, is one of the more memorable Disney movies. Whereas Finding Dory, I thought was just like really simple, really basic, quite frankly, really boring. I didn't think they went for anything crazy with it. They were kind of getting by on like, oh look, we're making a sequel to Finding Nemo, and remember how good that one was? Which Finding Nemo was really good, but I didn't think they did anything to push the envelope with that one. Pinocchio wants to be a real boy. It's okay. It's fine. It's got some pretty good music in it. I'll give it that, but I think it's incredible. Coco. Okay, I'm about to do something so controversial. This is super controversial. Why? I've never seen Coco. But damn it, I have heard the music. I know what it's about. There's no way this movie's not an S. Flame me in the please flame me in the comment section. There's no way this movie's not an S. I'm gonna watch it tonight. And I'm gonna cry. Maybe. Probably not. But yeah, I've heard the music, man, and look at, I mean, they nail. They look at this: Encanto, Aladdin, Moana, Mulan, Turning Red. When they listen, Raya, they when it's not, they nail it. So I'm sure Coco is incredible. Aristocats it's okay. I think it's very good. Incredibles 2, it makes me really sad to put it in C, but it kinda got by on being a sequel to Incredibles. Very similar to how like Finding Dory came after Finding Nemo, and like Finding Nemo is so memorable. Finding Dory kind of was just like, hey look, it's Finding Nemo, remember how good that was? Incredibles 2 was very similar. Remember how much you guys liked Incredibles? Well look, Incredibles 2. The plot wasn't insane. I didn't think they really went for it and did anything super crazy with it. The theme was fine. I could actually, the only kind of argument I could make to move it up is how it focuses on Helen. But even with that, it's not doing anything super crazy. And then lastly, Lightyear. It's okay. Not great. God, it doesn't matter, does it? It's okay. It's pretty funny. The animation, I think alone is maybe worth see, because the plot is relatively inoffensive. The whole movie within a movie within a movie thing is pretty funny. I thought the comedy hit really well. I think the theme was like relatively inoffensive. The plot's relatively inoffensive, and yeah, that's it. So these are my tiers. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I feel like we did a great job here. I really like where we have some of these placed. Oh, we didn't go back to Encanto. Ooh, okay, seeing my S tier now, nah, I don't feel like it's going up there. What I've done with Coco is maybe riotous, but it's my list. If you want to flame me, please do so in the comments. I'd really appreciate that. Remember to like the video if you're enjoying the content. I'm sorry this one was late. I was planning something else that I think I'm going to do next time that I think audience is going to be really, really excited about. Definitely hit the bell so that you get notified when the next video comes out. I think you guys are going to love it. And yeah, I think that I am out this bitch. Which, can you say that? Can you say bitch on YouTube? Listen, I know what you guys are thinking. I could just Google it. I'm going to Google it. I promise you. Next time I'm going to Google it. We're going to find out if you can say bitch on YouTube. Peace.